tell
You
me
were
in like
almost
a minute.
fired, dude. How does it
Yeah.
feel?
Yeah, it was close. It was almost there, but that's okay. The old 2 minute. That's what you said. 2 minute delay, and I was like, oh shit. Classic. Okay. Well, we're good now. But this looks familiar from our first phase of Band's last game. No Lycan, no Meepos, no Darkseer, no Lunas.
Yep, very, very similar. Band's Rubik is going to be the first pick here. We saw Rubik definitely putting in the hours last game.
Yeah, okay, so we're all good. Yeah, so not taking the Earth Spirit this time. They'll opt for the Rubik themselves. Reason did play a very nice Rubik. He had a lot of sick plays that game, actually. Then again, he was against a Weaver, so it's kind of helped enable him a little bit there, just always being able to steal Shikuchi. But we'll see now what they want to opt for, see if they want to go back for that Ogre once again here. I think it worked pretty well, helping to make Shuma quite strong on that Lifestealer, even helping out the Ember Spirit too, so... I don't think you can really go wrong with an Ogre opener if you're still feeling that hero for your team.
Sorry, I'm just fiddling around with whatever audio stuff I can find. But
oh, there he is. We got the Ogre.
All right.
It's nice. Actually, it was even better before 7.02 because whenever teams took this Rubik, you could use the Ogre to actually bully that ancient mid pull. It was so good with the Ogre. He was like the best hero in the game for it. But of course now no longer possible. None of those annoyances.
5 seconds remaining.
I did notice, I'm a fan of Jungle Tiny, you see. And so I was doing that toss thing where you'd like throw it in, you could like pull the off lane and just be this like position 4 support Tiny, be super greasy. And you can still toss lane creeps into the camps. So despite the changes, they will still be aggroed. But that just means you can only pull one guy, so it doesn't quite work. I think there might still be some shenanigans one can achieve with Tiny. I have to do some more testing, but it's not quite dead yet, guys. Gotta believe. Gotta believe in Jungle Tiny.
Not quite dead yet. I'm going to try a full reboot. I will be back.
Oh, God, Annie, no!
I'm sorry. I can't hear Dota. I can't hear ults. I can't hear farming. It's so hard.
All right, that's fair. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't hear those beautiful last hits, but... Magnus comes up once again here in A. We talked about the idea of Magnus being in multiple metas, different regions. At least for now, that's going to be 3 different teams picking up so far in Mr. Cat Season 2, so I can accept that at the very least. And so the Vengeful Spirit, also a super solid opener. I really like with the Ogre Magi, because if she is going to be position 1, Ogre makes her even more viable in that core role, right? Just so strong, so beefy. And so much damage to pump out there. So on the other end, though, Magnus also going to be pumping out those empowers. He'll be helping out his own allies. And I kind of discussed this yesterday, but the whole idea of Magnus just so strong as an opener because you can't ban out all of his best friends and his allies. It's just impossible. Like, yeah, you can take out the Juggernaut. He's probably the best one in terms of empower and then helping him out through the lanes. But he just synergizes with any hero that it doesn't matter. You just simply can't ban them out. He's not Shao Demon Luna.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I told you to be quick. Just booting up Steam now. Any new picks while I'm gone?
No, nothing crazy going on. Just kind of some standard bans. I guess worth noting that since they took the Magnus, the Weaver slipped through the bans there. Warriors Gaming not willing to fight up against it despite having the Rubik and what that would allow for you. It's like, well, we saw how difficult it was for them to lock down our Weaver with only with just RP on their side, so we don't want that same issue going for us this game. Last ban here. Again, if you want to take out his best friends, like you could still ban the Ember Spirit. I think would be decently strong considering you only have Ogre and Venge stuns, and it is pretty good with the Magnus. But perhaps they could want it for themselves on MVP, or they could also be saying that, you know what, we just tried Ember Magnus and we didn't win with it, so we don't care. And yeah, that's also a good point. Afu is a killer Earth Spirit, so they'll ban that out.
Radiant team pick.
Moving on next. We have our Ogre, we have our Venge. They have the final pick in the draft here, so probably want to save their mid. So maybe don't want to reveal the position 5 yet. Okay, they will. So they'll reveal the Warlock, and more than likely this means this is Venge position 1 for sure, even though it was, I would say, likely at this point. And they will go for that Ember Spirit on Warriors Gaming. So they're just going to take what MVP had and kind of slap him in the face with it. At least that's the plan. That was a nice draft you guys had. Didn't quite win, but we think we can do better.
All right, I am back. I am in the draft.
You've done it. Do you have Dota noises?
I do not.
And obviously you've checked the sound mixer.
5 seconds
I
remaining.
have.
You're
I
not-
like
you're
the
not
part
crazy?
where it was working completely flawlessly and I touched nothing and then it just stopped.
Did you
But,
check the
know,
audio sources in Dota?
I did, thank you.
Well, I tried.
Checked my Steam voice settings, checked Dota settings, checked all my computer settings. So we're just gonna go with a good old silent movie. I'm gonna play some silent movie music as I cast. I think
Yeah,
that'll
that sounds good.
Dire
Just
team
play the sounds from another Dota game while you cast, and then be like extra confusing. Just like
That
random
is how
alts.
to actually force yourself into insanity.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Well, there he is, Mr. Slider. He somehow made it through the first phase last game before eventually. I think he was banned out at least. I can't imagine he made it the whole way through the draft, but I guess his rules were just all taken is what it was. But at this point, not gonna happen this time. Position 4, Slider likely could end up being position 3 with a Magnus in the mid. We'll have to see. We have seen our Ember safe lanes before, but more than likely this will be position 4 Slider, position 5 Rubik, Magnus off lane, Ember Spirit in the mid, and still looking for a position 1. So Lifestealer, the simple, easy ban there from MVP, just saying we're not giving you Slider Lifestealer, we're not that stupid.
Yeah, definitely. Warriors, they've got a lot of melee, but it's not really, it doesn't feel confining. It doesn't feel like the heroes just kind of sit there and smack. They've got
10
great
seconds
initiations. You've got
remaining.
Sleight of Fist on Ember. You've got, Blink Skewer from Magnus. Slardar obviously
5
going to be building
seconds
Blink or
remaining.
Force or something. So it's not like they're limited by their melee status.
Reserve time.
Yeah, now MVP, all they're really missing, they have the initiation of Vendetta, which is okay. And then they have that high overreaching Warlock Golem, but for a mid hero, they could either go for like the initiation route and go for something along the lines of like a Puck or something like that, or they could opt the other way and go for a Viper and just be somebody that could totally dominate that Ember Spirit in the mid lane
Viper.
and then just like walk towards towers with the threat of golems over top. I think that would be pretty strong. Bloodlusted Viper.
definitely. Bloodlusted Viper just sounds so horribly toxic.
Invoker is also very strong here. Of course, we don't know
Ooh.
anything about Mr. Doctor here. I don't know if he's an Invoker player, but with the Nyx Assassin, could also do quite a bit of work where these 4 heroes could make a lot of space for him to like boots of travel around the map and just throw out Sunstrikes to help out on Vendetta ganks.
Definitely interesting idea. I would like to see an Invoker. I think, especially with the Ogre Magi in the vent, is going to be early rotations. And, if Invoker gets a secured 1 mid lane, that's going to be pretty easy for
Dire
MVP.
team pick.
All right, similar idea. They banned out the Shadow Fiend, so basically just cooler Viper. A little bit more risky in the laning stage, but bigger payout later on. It's a solid plan.
10
Well, we'll see what
seconds
position one we
remaining.
end up getting. Who does Magnus' friend want to be? I love the Faceless Void. I've been seeing some teams run with the Magnus. Not quite as good when you have this new Ember Spirit, but it is pretty
Yeah, with all
fun.
the melees, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of
Reserve time.
follow-up.
It's so fun, though. Yeah, we're
Definitely
not
fun.
talking about strategy, we're talking about fun.
All right, we're talking about fun. Let's see a position 1 Witch Doctor.
That's not fun. Not with Magnus.
That is so much fun.
Where's the fun in that? You
Drop your
need,
Death Ward, dance around. Slardar lands a 2-man crush. You RP, skewer them all in, and you're just dancing, dude. You drop that pace.
All right, I'll allow it. That sounds okay. Faceless have been running a lot of this Wraith King, which is kind of hilarious with Magnus. Worked out pretty well. What else have they been up to? We've seen Magnus Slark. Is this a good Slark game? Venge, Warlock, Nyx. This is a pretty good Slark game, actually. The offlane only pressure is a Nyx Assassin. He doesn't really like dual lanes. Yeah, I could see a Slark here if they want to throw that over.
I don't know. I think Slark might be a little bit too greedy. I think that puts a lot of pressure. Oh,
Boom!
okay. Or you're just fucking
Yeah, I'm outta here.
incredible.
Boom!
All right.
I'm out. Done. All right. I
all
can't
right,
leave when
welcome
I'm
to-
production. It doesn't work like when I'm co-casting, and I just
Yeah, that was a snipe, sir. Congratulations.
it wasn't. Every single position one was banned out. All right, I was 2 for 2 though. To be fair, to be fair.
Oh my god.
To be fair. All right, we're good.
You're just too good. Holy shit, man.
That was all right. That was a slight overreaction. I've had my coffee. I'm sorry, guys.
If anything, I think that's an underreaction. That was 2 out of 2, flawlessly called for the right reasons. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think the select's really good. I don't think they have any way to pressure him in lane. At least if they do pressure him in lane, it's gonna have to be like a full aggro try or something, and then you're getting a matchup of Magnus versus Nyx, which I would be pretty happy with if I'm the team with the Magnus, because I would rather have the farm on him. And my Slayer can just
Oh.
recover.
Oh geez, I'm bugged.
What are you doing? Why are you getting bugged?
My HUD is the whole screen.
What?
Oh, there we go. It fixed itself. It was like, you know when you first load in and like there's the HUD like kind of just appears from the bottom? It just never stopped and just went all the way up.
Oh, really? That actually sounds pretty sweet.
It was actually kind of sweet.
All right. I had to restart last game. No, we're good. Got my sick cheats, my hacks, my console commands.
Oh.
So what's it like being a play-by-play caster when you don't even have to do the camera? It must be the best.
It's not the best because you know when I play by play, I have that like seizure cam. Like people have noticed it. I get nauseous because I want to like rapidly click between lanes to make sure I'm not missing any action. So it's just like top mid, top mid, top mid for like 30 seconds if I have it my way, and that is not a great viewing experience.
I feel like I'm a different person when I cast and I have to be the camera because I can't do what I normally do. I can't like when I'm casting, I am just like if I'm the analyst, I'm just clicking all over the map. I would be like giving people like
that's what I
motion
like
sickness.
to do too. I like to check what items people are working on, but I like to click very rapidly, and that is not how to entice the viewer to watch.
Oh,
your
look at
smooth
that
camera work.
smoke. Sneaky
Aw.
stuff. They just smoke it right up, buy all their items. Like, haha, now they don't know which lanes we're going to buy our items, which is very handy with the Slark.
Right, TP up. Grace is going to have his smoke popped. Afu as well, so up in this top lane, they know that there's another buddy rumbling around. I see pings. I cannot hear them, but there are exclamation points on the map.
I yelled at chat. I felt really bad.
Why
I'm
did you
sorry,
yell at
chat. Because I said boom and it was really loud. Either way.
I think you deserve that one, dude. That's your prize.
Well, thank you.
Getting to piss off all of chat for a split second.
All right. Well, everything looks pretty stock standard. Same place for Grace. Going to be roaming between this little like off lane and mid lane. And Doctor Invoker. So yeah, they're not going to go any sort of crazy aggro try. They're not going to try and pressure the Slark too much. If they do pressure him, it'll just be through Ogre and Nyx, which is fine. And I'm feeling pretty good about Warriors Gaming, I gotta say. I'm liking what they have here, but it's MVP. They have a Warlock. Although I know, guys, it's not the same old MVP, but there's just something about that name with a Warlock that just gives you hope, you know?
You got that fear instilled in your hearts. That MVP Warlock. Now we're gonna have Afu scooting his way up here, making his way into the Radiant territory. Do you think he's gonna get punished for this, or just getting eyes? Is he gonna go for a rune snipe?
Yeah, he'll just be like scouting around. This is pretty hilarious at the position 4 slider. I was watching, I think it was Misery's game last night. I think it was game 3 Complexity DC. But everyone does this on the slider, and it just like around the 2-minute mark, he'll come over to this rune over here, and he'll grab that, and then he'll either go directly through to grab this one, or he'll go up here, grab this, go over, come down, grab this one. Basically, position 4 slider, you just slither to every single rune at the 2-minute mark, and try and use that to get yourself into like decent position to working towards your Blink Dagger. But so him being down the bottom lane, helping out this Magnus, just giving him a little bit of an easier time. This 2v2, they have to send this Ogre mid to help out the Invoker. Been bullying Nana quite a bit, but this just means that Nyx is on his own versus a Slark and just no pressure. Not really anything they can do, and Slark in the more fragile stages won't really have any competition.
That is a little bit scary of a proposition. Like, how does a Nyx even kind of keep a Slark under wraps right now?
Yeah, he just can't. It's really nothing you can do. It's a little bit too risky for him to get in too close if he gets pounced. At least if he gets harassed down and then pounced. Like, the initial pounces doesn't really matter, but if X-Nova gets a couple levels, then he can have some issues. Tries to go for a pull, but X-Nova intercepts.
There's going to be a crush into the Invoker. It looks like Doctor might be in a little bit of trouble. Sunstrike comes down. Nana not too affected. It will be first blood going the way of the Emperor Spirit.
Yeah, it's a nice play by Afu to make that happen in the mid lane. Especially with the Ogre moving down. And now look who it is. It's Afu. He's going to find that rune. It's a race between him and Grace. Oh, and Grace is going to go to the opponent bounty rune. That's a good call by him. Oh, or maybe he's not. Yeah, no, he will. I believe in you, Mr. Ogre. Gonna check this first. Gets a DD. And... oh, someone pinged it. Oh, it's the Magnus.
Potentially could be a kill mid if he lands initiation on Nana now. There's going to be
Yeah,
Nana
Doctor's
pushing up to
baiting.
the high ground.
Tower is under attack.
Ogre doesn't have a stun, just level 1 on him, so no way to hold him in place. Just kind of walks up, says, all right, I got a double damage. I'm charging a clarity. What are you going to do about it? And maybe trying to bully him up, force him up to the high ground.
Well, Afu's happy, though. He got both his bounty runes. Position 4 Slider, basically the how this hero farms. Slithering around, grabbing bounty runes. Pretty great. Gotta love no mana cost, increased speed.
Yay.
And I guess Nana maybe even gonna Shrine? Yeah. Full bottle, still determining that he'd rather do that now than wasting his bottle charges. At least Light is able to get his own bounty rune over here.
Towards mid, we still got Slardar hanging around in the trees, but there's going to be another rotation in from Grace. This time, just looking to start things off. Starts with the Ignite. Now they're going to initiate onto Doctor. They've got the Crush from Afu. It does connect. They have the damage to follow up, though. Grace hurting everyone out of the Radiant territory and keeping Doctor alive.
Just I actually had to turn you up for once, Annie.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm sorry.
Now, next time I cast for my regular setup, I'm just going to blow your eardrums out. Top lane, we do have a catch. Light. He's going to get pounced on by Oddjit, but just held in place, burned some mana with the Impale, and this Slark, once again, just back to complete free farm. This Rubik having a great time as well, just thinking about all sorts of support items and stacking up the camps. He's free to roam about the country, because it's really only a Nyx on the Radiant side that's even touched this half of the map.
Yeah. I was feeling pretty happy, I would say. As well, like, Light has caught up a little bit. I guess he must have found, like, a big wave or something, because now, well, okay, maybe not, actually. He's still, like, almost a full level behind the Slark. And although X-Nova hasn't really rotated or anything, he's level 3.5 as well. He's feeling pretty good about himself. He's just making sure that Nyx doesn't get anything. Always securing this bounty rune. Oh, did he go with the Crush?
He went with the Crush, got the Rune Rumble once again in his name, and it looks like he might be able to go and score up some more farm. This position 4 Slardar is super rich.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money, but he doesn't have much experience, that's for sure. Bounty rune's not really offering too much of that. Like, he's basically still behind the Ogre, but yeah, as you said, money-wise, about 300 gold ahead, 400 even. So he'll be into his Tranquil Boots early on, and then with the help of the Magnus, they could even just, like, double in power. Like, that's why the Ion Shell is so strong with the Slider, because just all he needs is a little bit of movement speed. Pop that Ion Shell from all the experience on the Darkseer, and somewhat the same idea, just a little bit, I would say, more difficult to execute with the Empower.
Ben there gets a little bit of a scare. Had to take that Warlock damage and took a Venge Missile right to the face, but just going to be going through, burning some regen, and he's feeling fine. He's going to go dip into this neutral camp right now, and this Venge is farming pretty well, but Slark now takes over the last hit lead, and I just don't think MVP can leave the Slark to farm much longer, and we say that as an Impale latches, but Pounce comes back in from Oddjit. He's trying to turn this around. Rubik, meanwhile, just chilling with the neutrals, trying to score up some farm. They bring in the Ogre Magi to the top lane. They've got Impale up in 1 second, but it looks like Nyx Assassin will back out in favor of maybe an easier target of the Rubik.
Yeah, Ajit just kind of playing his resources to the max there. Had the salve, so he was fine trading that deep and knows that he's almost into level 6. So he just fully trades out before he's going to have his essentially infinite regen with the Shadow Dance. And
lane.
yeah, Fu's waiting. Has the Slight now, too.
Problem with being a Slardar that, doesn't have a whole lot of experience not exactly having lane farm. I mean, he's just got to slither up and stun the Invoker and give him all the time in the world to react, especially under tower. There's no blink, no force just yet. So very tricky initiation for Slardar to land. If he does it, he's a god, but for right now, I think they're just content having eyes on Doctor and making sure Nana can get the most out of his farm.
Yeah, Afu can just hold the position, and then he just backs away to grab himself the bounty rune. X-Nova even came in and stole this one, so they wind up with all 4, including, again, a bottle on Ajit. This guy loves his bottle. Oh, wait. Am I crazy? Oh, never mind. It was, I thought it said Ajit bottled that bounty. I was gonna be very surprised. So we do not have bottle Slark, guys. No panic.
Okay, man.
It was, in fact,
mid lane. It looks like they're going to try for their initiation. Afu goes in, lands the Crush. They've got 3 heroes here. There's a TP in coming through from our Warlock, but is there really enough that they can do? Warlock may actually end up hitting the truck here, and it looks like there will be another Crush to get the Warlock down. The Fatal Bond's doing some work, but I don't think it's enough to bring out the Slardar, although he does fall. And now you've got Dr. Invis here, and is there any way for them to detect him? Nana, he's got nothing to his name, so that's just going to be the Dire having to back out here.
Yeah, that was a nice grab. I thought Afu was going to be able to just get the slither up and find the Invoker, but intercepted with the movements from Grace there.
That Fatal Bonds from the Invoker, or from the Warlock rather, is definitely what at least made that fight bearable. They were able to take the Slardar in exchange.
Well, all this attention across the map. Haven't seen too much of bottom. Again, like, no real risk of Ben here. 7 minutes in. Slardar, or rather the Slark very farmed, but Ben as well. Looking pretty healthy here. 2,500 gold. He's above the Invoker in the mid lane. And Shuma still has plenty of regen, I suppose, on this Vengeful Spirit. So it's not like Ben's been forcing too much down the bottom lane, but he's still getting all the gold he needs. Geez, Slark just farming up a storm here. Using that good old-fashioned Shadow Dance.
Pretty much everything he wants. Of course, Slark wants to start snowballing kills as early as possible, but ultra free farm against someone that he feels completely safe against, knowing that there's rumbles going down mid, there's rumbles going down bottom. Right now, all 5 Radiant heroes are on the map. Well, we've got Ben here taking a Fatal Bond from the bottom lane. Might be enough to drag him down. Shuma taking some damage from X Nova, but now we've got Nana going through, throws a Remnant forward, is able to latch with the Searing Chains. Miss Venge throws a missile to defend herself. Is there enough catch? She gets vision of both with her Wave of Terror. Now Ogre making her fast. Is there going to be any sort of catch? Afu moving forward, but Shuma is still alive. In fact, Light comes in and just munches on that Ember Spirit, lands the Impale, and it looks like Afu may go down as well. He's going to be hit with that Ignite. He's slow, he's taking some tick damage, and that's going to be 2 kills in favor of the Radiant.
Nicely done. They were trying to set up that Vendetta mid for the longest time, and they had the double sentries here to make sure the Dire had no protections against it, but once it was clear they'd all moved out, he just rotates down to the river and picks up that perfect kill there for Light. So great timing on Nyx Assassin. Very difficult if you can't find these early Vendetta ganks. So already heading into a good early game. Couldn't even see the Midas before the blink. It's always just so tempting when you're this rich. Yeah, he's going to queue it up for now. We'll see. Sometimes it can be a little bit better to go for the blink first, just to make sure you don't totally fall off.
Speaking of Midas is our Slark with his free farm. He's taking advantage of it, just goes straight in for the Midas, no hesitation. I mean, when does the Slark need to leave his lane? If he had the option just to sit back and farm completely free with no defense for the entire game, does he just do that, or does he need to start rotating for kills?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough this game. They don't have the best D-push overall. I think Warriors Gaming they're just going to try and keep pumping out these shockwaves. You can see this game, there's a little bit of a change here from Ben, whereas we saw the max in power and only 1-point shockwave. This time, our Magnus here has already gone for 2 because he's going to try and keep them off the tower as much as possible. The Warlock's level 6 will be a big determining factor for the Radiant side, where they basically don't need the Slark for a long time. It's the best way to put it, I suppose.
Oh, Shuma might get punished here. A little bit greedy. Goes in for the Wave of Terror to try to get vision, but I think this Venge is just going to be left to the Wolves. Tries for a TP, and they do barely have enough damage.
That was close.
That was like the last millisecond, yeah.
So nicely done there. And is Afu just going... He's thinking about it. I think he's going to go straight for the blink. He's had that gold for so long, like that early 700-some gold from all these bounty runes. He never ended up going for those tranquils, so he's going to try and rush it straight. Brown Boots, Blink Dagger, and maybe hoping to sync up with his Slark around that time. Ajit for now, aiming in towards that Shadow Blade. Oh, good ward pop down here from X Nova. Not a sentry, though. And so he's probably dead. No Sunstrike required. Wow, what a nice guy.
Sunstrike required, man.
He could have just right-clicked, though.
Oh, yeah, he could have. But you got to feed that Invoker, man. Going up against the Ember Spirit, you got to get that late-game viability churning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a nice guy. Like, Doctor just had this awful mid lane. Didn't get too much help. The Ogre very early on, but then much else. And he's just like, you know what, man? I'm going to help you get that Midas. Just some serious brotherhood going on here from MVP. You know what? I guess because they probably live in the same house, so you don't want to piss the guy off.
Or, you know, they're good people.
No, that seems unlikely.
Okay.
No one in esports is good people. Come on,
they're
Amy.
Dota players, let's be real.
Screwed over everyone in their lives. A reason, he's level 6, he did it, got the experience, so we'll see if he wants to make any sort of rotation. If they want to try and pressure down that mid lane tower, if they just want to keep going with this one. Venge is up in the top lane, trying to deny a little bit of room here from Ajit, just not feeling too scared with him in the proximity. Like this circle play drawn up here. Fire Venge. Is that Reason on the Venge? Or it's Shuma on the Venge. So Shuma's captaining right now, basically. And he's like, listen guys, you're going in here, do your thing, they're here. Give me a Vendetta. Let's do this. Good sentry here.
Initiation onto Venge might just be a little bit too much for her to deal with, though. She's going to swap Ogre forward. Meanwhile, Nyx just goes to town on this Ember Spirit, or they're either on the Rubik in the back lines, and they are able to get him down relatively easy. They give it once again to Doctor with the Sunstrike, so he's farming mid. He's picking up kills all over the map, and this looks like Radiant is going to be able to push in and may even be able to take this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and that right there is why you see... why we always have Nyx and Invoker. Like, just that setup is ridiculous. Max level 2.8 seconds. It's a guaranteed Sunstrikes. Unless they have some sort of a ridiculous mobility spell. Mid lane Doctor. Tornado, possibly living. Oh, he's got the Amplify, though, so it won't matter anyway. Yeah. Even if he had Ghost Walk, he'd still die.
So tower for tower, instantaneously traded bottom lane. Our Magnus was able to find some solo push, and we didn't really talk about that, but this Magnus, he's getting what he needs to right now. He's got a Helm of the Dominator first on top of his Arcane, so he's pretty sustainable. And he's just going to keep chewing through bottom lane. Who does Magnus want to rotate with? Like, who's his crew? Who does he take with him to get the dopest RPs?
Basically, he wants to empower Slark and just run behind him. And then Ajit will initiate on someone, and he'll be... the guy who he's initiating on will be like 80% HP. Like, taken away, so it'll be like 10% total or something like that. And then someone's going to blink in to save him. And then we'll have the counter blink from the Magnus, and he'll RP 2 people. That's what every fight's going to look like. It'll be great.
Top lane, Light is Vendetta, was walking underneath the sentry ward. X-Nova knows he's around now, but doesn't have vision of him. This is a very dangerous game. X-Nova just skirting all over, wanting to find the safety of a sentry, but back towards mid, we've got a bit of a skirmish dropping down. The Warlock ult goes through a triple man crush on top of a pounce. They have the return RP, but that is just... oh, that crush was so good. Now you've got a Fatal Bonds Nana just running all over the place. Very nice ding ding coming out of the Ogre, but looks great and will still end up going down. The Dire are sustainable. The Carapace from Nyx doing a little bit of work, but Light is left to his own devices and does drop. Ogre, the only survivor right now.
For how long?
MVP, and Odd is right on his case. Ogre thinking about going for the stun. Of course, there's no ult on the Slark, so he does not have to just sit back and deal with this Venge. She's got to swap in 3 seconds. Has the missile as well, but that leap down to the low ground will be enough to keep Slark alive.
That fight right there just showing off the power of the Helm. I seriously, I talk about this item all the time. I'm actually glad it got nerfed the way it did, because I was scared something would happen with the creeps and like the skill or the speed or something like that with the creeps, but this item is so much fun whenever you're playing any sort of a core. I mean, if you're a support, you can get it early, that's great too, but for the most part, you're playing offlaners, you're playing position 1s, you can offer so much in a team fight with this thing. Like that crush, well, I guess it's a stomp, but either way, but like following up from the crush from Afu, this Brown Boots Blink Dagger, he hits 3 people, and then the Centaur comes through and follows up right on top of 2 more. And it just like waddles its way into the fight. It's way too high of HP to burst down as well.
Got this swarm of heroes out mid. This tower is getting very, very low, and it is going to get fortified, but can Radiant actually get up and deny this? It looks like Nana is waiting for the opportunity to go jump on some greedy Radiant hero, and
he's got a haste rune too.
Light's Vendetta around. Is there going to be any vision? Looks like Nova's going to take the brunt of the force with Sunstrike. It is going to go and connect onto Nova, but is there enough damage? One more hit from Light might be enough, but the skewer back. Nova is still going to be alive now. The Shrine is going to get activated. They just got to make sure that they got this, and there we go. There's going to be more fight going on. The Impale does do a fair amount of work, but everyone's getting so low on the Radiant side. The Dire just want to keep brawling and brawling, and that's what they're going to do. Ryzen is going to go down once again, and it looks like Ogre, once again, the only survivor, will be picked off. It is another 5-man wipe, trading only the Magnus after using a very nice skewer to keep X-Nova safe.
Yeah, when you lose 5 heroes at a shrine, not a good sign. And that was with the Shadow Blade on the courier coming to Slark.
Oh no.
So he's got 900 gold, and he hasn't even used the thing yet.
My goodness. Yeah, it's a really bad sign. They were fighting like literally all underneath the shrine regen and still got completely picked apart without the use of big ultimates. Like that wasn't an RP. That wasn't, you know, Slark just absolutely going mad. That was just kind of everyone chugging along, right-clicking, using their spells. What does Radiant do to recover from this? How do they play differently to not get caught off guard like that?
Well, I mean, for one thing, Warriors Gaming, we're fighting very well around the golems. So just knowing that those aren't going to get dumped on them, such a risky place. Like if there's golems during a shrine fight, probably not a very good idea to take that one. But for now, they need Doctor to get farmed up. He needs that Aghanim Scepter. He's not going to be able to afford any sort of mobility at him. He won't be able to afford bots first. So they kind of just need to play this like 4-man front line for him where he still needs to be involved. Because he can't split push the map right now. There's a Shadow Blade on the Slark. There's a Blink Dagger on this position 4 Slardar. He's just hunting right now. Like Afu is looking for this Invoker. Just like, all right, I know he wants this with these waves. He wants to do something down here, so I'm just going to eliminate that possibility. It's certainly not going to be easy.
I mean, what's you mentioned the Warlock Golems being a huge factor. I mean, are Radiant really that ult-based? Can they only fight when they've got Warlock and they're all kind of wadding together? Because based on their heroes, I thought they'd be doing a lot more ganking, a little bit more smoking up and going for easy pickoffs.
They can, but it's just like, if they want an objective, they basically need the Golems.
Yeah.
And Light going for this riskier Midas build, just not having that Blink Dagger now. Oh, he will find a Helm of the Dominator creep if he wants it, but you know, he'll actually pass it. That is that's the same Radiant Siege they used to take mid, actually, when he stole it with the Helm. But Light not wanting to reveal himself quite yet. God, that Midas has been on cooldown for so long. Please. Please. Please, Light. Killing me inside. He's going for this maximum bait value, but he's not going to find anyone. Well, either way. So, again, another little bit of a stale moment there for the Radiant side. Just trying to play defensively, trying to get some sort of a counter initiation play on, which is how you'll get the highest reward for sure. Like, if you can just find Ben or something, or even Ajit roaming through there looking for that kill, then it is going to totally jack up your net worth as MVP. But the problem is when you're doing that sort of a play, you're gaining absolutely nothing on 3 of your heroes. So they're just falling further and further behind as Warriors Gaming are playing rather careful and cautious. And Nana at this point is just so hard to catch out. And he doesn't even have his Blink Dagger yet.
Yeah, what do you think about the choice to go for Veil? I mean, it's not uncommon, but it's not usually like the ultimate staple of Ember Spirit builds.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's definitely the jam right now. Just like,
blink forward from Magnus. He was trying to go in, try to initiate with some sort of skewer, but Venge responded too quickly. So Radiant get a little bit of harass on the tower, but are they actually going to be able to get out safely here? You've got Afu going in, cast that corrosive haze onto our Invoker just to keep eyes on him. Make sure he's not looking to re-engage.
Oh, but they see the Warlock and they're like, all right, if we can just jump him, then we will take it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Reason
He's
just
chilling.
throws the bonds and bails out. So
That's probably the only play for him. It looks like Grace is going to be perhaps caught out here, maybe trying to make some space for the rest of his heroes. Ajit looks to be moving forward, still has that bounce available. And is going to go forward. Is he going to latch onto anyone? No, in fact, he's under tower now, just trying to get the most out of his regen. Light is making it back to some safe space, but Grace is caught out completely off guard. That Ogre eats one for the team, but the rest of his teammates are able to get out alive. That looked a little bit dangerous for MVP.
this is just a lot. You can't run from this lineup at all either. Like when you're in that sort of a posturing position from MVP and you're so far forward, it's just so dangerous. They need things to go perfectly, or that's what happens. They just get it run down. I'm surprised they only lost one, to be honest. And then, yeah, now there's our Blink Dagger. So we've seen some people like Weehaw. He just tends to skip the Veil, so it's definitely not always core or anything like that. Like some people just go Blink right into Maelstrom or something like that. But I think anytime you have even a somewhat decent team to use the magic damage, you don't even need them, honestly, to go for it. But in this kind of a game, it's pretty handy. Just your Slark, your Magnus, your Rubik. There's plenty of magic damage that gets chucked around in this one. So plenty of value here, especially when you know how MVP want to be taking these fights in these kind of 5-man core groups. It's so easy to slap a Veil on top of all of them.
Ajit moving up, wants to take these Ancients, is actually sandwiched in between Radiant heroes, but I think they know better than to try to jump on this ultra farm Slark. I mean, look at this guy's net worth. He is just completely balling out of control. This again was our first item, Midas Slark, and now he's got an Echo Saber, he's got a Shadow Blade, and almost 2,000 gold to work with.
Yeah, Light, you're just going to have to TP out here. Leaving the vicinity. Again, Midas. Hey, Light, please, dude. You're, like, killing me right now. There you go. Attaboy. Get that money. I can't even watch it, dude. It's painful, but I understand. You know, he's in a tough game. It's easy to say it as a spectator. It's just funny. His own Blink Dagger is still pretty far away. And unfortunately, when you don't get the snowball rolling his Nyx, it can be a little bit of a tough one. Ajit is just like baiting. Level 17 right now. My God.
He just doesn't care about anything right now. He's going to be hitting his level 20 talent pretty soon. Does Slark usually go for the attack speed or the cooldown reduction? Seems like this guy's enjoying his dark packs and shadow dances.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those weirder talents. Like, it's one of the lower cooldown reductions, but considering you're a Slark, it's so value though. Like Dark Pact. I mean, you just have so many good skills for the cooldowns. You always buy all these items that could use it too. He has a Midas. He has a Shadow Blade. I think it's still like, I don't think there's, well, I mean, there's probably some talents that are 100% of the time. I don't think that's one of them, but I think cooldowns are just always so good.
Got this Slark. I mean, he's just marching to the beat of his own drum, and he absolutely can. There's no reason. I mean, you'd think this Nyx is right behind him. He's been right behind him, just kind of soaking up some of his XP. But if Nyx jumps Slark, that is just a not great play. Slark can turn that around very quickly. Towards mid, we've got a Rumble coming out. We've got a smoked up Dire team trying to rotate in and find those Radiant heroes, but
they killed that creep, though.
They got it.
They messed up that Helm Dominator creep.
He's gone.
Butchered him.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Gan being used. They know that Radiant heroes are in this vicinity.
Take that, Gan,
Grace. The one to break the smoke. Raisin just walks into it, gets completely destroyed. There's a missile tossed up, but the Venge swap to try to save her life. They bring the Ogre deeper into the fight, but now it's just Venge versus the world. And Venge has got nothing left to work with. It's Ben trying to chase down the Venge, who turns and stuns the Magnus. Venge is actually still alive. They are going to be losing their Invoker, and it looks like the Ogre is soon to fall as well. Ogre goes down. It's just going to be the Nyx, who's trying to walk up through this bottom lane and survive, but it's not looking too likely.
Please, no. Please.
Let him off with a warning.
Oh,
please.
no.
Oh.
Well, at least Warlock's coming back. All right, this is the big play, guys. The giant turnaround. Still got golems.
He's
Tier
got
2
golems.
down mid and top.
Radiant's top tower is under
Whew. This is a beatdown.
Radiant's top
It is indeed. Warriors Gaming looking really strong this game. You know, game number 1, there was definitely that back and forth. There was that, you know, power switch. There was a lot of farm, a lot of momentum, some crazy fights that swung things. But this game, it just looked like Warriors Gaming got a fantastic start. That free farming Slark got things set up for them, and it is just looking a little bit hard to come back from.
The net worth and experience is like identical. It just looks so similar. I don't know. I mean, often they're close, but that's pretty funny. Either way, yeah, it's all out Warriors Gaming this game. Last game, at least, it was close for a long time, as you said. It was just that pretty much the entire game was similar until that big Roche fight with the buybacks and the extra deaths heading their way. I mean, one big pickoff will give them a ton of gold. Oh, man, it's just brutal, this vision. They just can't see anything.
Look, they're going to get sandwiched around on. That's a double man crush coming back on 3. Now the golems are going to be dropped, but look at Raisin just immediately getting clumped down.
Oh.
RP goes in. This time it's useful. And Grace is just going to be chewed upon. Nova is going to be burning, but not going to be getting all the way down. This time Invoker is going to be one of our only survivors.
Didn't know he was going to go down. That's pretty funny. Golem got the kill.
Golems kept going, man. Can't stop the golems. Doctor just running away, does not want to tangle with anyone on the Dire team. Is high ground going to change anything? Is it going to be you know, Warriors Gaming go up and try to break high ground and can't, or is it just going to be same old, same old?
They don't have God tier siege for sure, but they have a butterfly Slark at 24 minutes, so that's generally pretty good at taking buildings. Maybe not the best hero, but the itemization will certainly help. Man, he hits hard. He only has 4 stolen stats right now, and he just hits like a monster. Jesus. He's having like 300 damage.
Seems fair.
Holy.
And the BT being to bottom and pushing it out. I mean, Warriors Gaming, they are not, you know, crunching the clock right here. They can take this as late as they feel, and it seems like they're still going to scale better than anyone on Radiant.
I would imagine they're probably trying to close this one out a little bit cleaner than last game, too. Like, the double racks, that game just looked like it was just done and over, and then there were just these weird kind of fights that happened where they allowed the big wombo combo to happen from...
Warriors Gaming, you all right there?
Yeah, they have some issues, like they have, like, full team disconnects. Oh, well. It's kind of funny. Should be back momentarily. It seems they just had some house internet issues. Not ideal for a Dota team, but I'm sure the Moonduck house can understand.
Oh, we're trying our best. We've got Comcast as the only internet provider in the area. Be nice to us.
One job finding a house, guys. One job. Literally.
All good.
We're going to make an esports studio. What do we need? Oh, the internet. That was it. That was your one job.
Fuck you, Modfax. Oh, man. That's a little too accurate. It's a little too close.
A little too real, isn't it? Yeah. No. It's okay, guys. Elimination mode.
It's coming in, like 3 hours? 4 hours?
Yeah, something like that. Man, that the Blake Martinez interview was fantastic. That was
He is awesome.
ridiculously good. I did not know what to expect from that interview, but that guy was legit. He was
Yeah,
the
I mean,
man.
I was kind of expecting someone to come on. You know, he'd played the tutorials, he played like a game or two, but this guy knew all about it. You know, he's 3K MMR, he grinds pubs. Like, he's just one of us who also likes playing football.
I can totally picture that whole idea of like sitting in the training room too, and like watching something on Twitch and be like, "What the hell are you watching?" And being like, "Oh, are you playing that game?" No, I'm watching someone else play. Why would you do that? It's like, dude, we're professional football players. Like, how do you not grasp the same concept? It's literally, everyone can go outside and throw a football around, but they're all shit at it, so they watch us do it. Like, it's the exact same concept.
That's actually really well said.
Yeah, so I can definitely relate. It was funny. I liked him a lot. He was legit.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And he flamed the Browns, which was great. That's really all I needed in my life because my brother-in-law is a big Browns fan, which, you know, I don't know if you guys don't watch other... I don't even know how to equate it to other sports, but they're essentially the worst sporting organization on planet Earth. I can't imagine there's
Wow.
one worth across all sports. Like
Now,
they...
can you tell me how you really feel?
No, like the team, their fans celebrated this season because they won a game, and they didn't become... They seriously, if they had lost one of these games this season, they were actually going to go down as the worst team in history. They were so bad. Anyway, he still flamed the Browns, which was great. That's all I needed to... When I told my brother-in-law that I was going to be part of, like, the NFL player was coming on our show. That was great. But we're back. It's Dota. Warriors game. They've returned. They're not going for any sort of a career change. They will continue to be professional Dota 2 players. So they have returned to the course. And Light, he's returned to his scouting regiment here. He's going to find Ben. He's got that Satyr Bandisher. Now nerfed.
Oh, X-Nova's going to come in there. Sunstrike doing a lot of work. Ben is still up. Is there anything they can do to get him down? Tornado coming back on through. Looks like this Magnus, he's just chugging along. He's got his Shadow Blade. And now there's a Sentry revealing Doctor. Doctor goes in with a Deafening Blast. Remnant back forward, and they should be able to catch
nice
out
swap.
Doctor, but a swap from the Venge to save him. Unfortunately, it's not enough as they rake in two. Warlock wasn't able to complete his TP. Grace just going in, trying, but will be able to get out. Afu not going to be in time with that crush. Light, he's just crawling back underneath
Oh,
his
Ben is
T3
baiting
tower.
down.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, what a dick. That's so good. Oh, GG. No, Ben was at like 100 HP, and he just kept baiting around this Vengeful Spirit, just waiting and waiting and waiting until fight. Like, Ben's just chasing around the trees, throws out the stun, he just blink disjoints it, and then it leads to the Venge's death. Just like the ultimate BM right at the end. That was good. Good stuff. No, it's very well played there by Warriors game. They closed that one out. Closed out our 2-game series. A nice 2-0, so helping themselves out here in the group stage for Group A. And that is our third series now from Group A. Now
But we are
moving-
not done.
No.
The Warriors